Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 6 for 6. We had a fantastic week last week where we had a great selection in our picks, ladies and gentlemen. We went 4-2 in our selection. What a beautiful thing that we've done. That has definitely helped us out in the win columns to improve us to 22, 18, and 1, ladies and gentlemen. We're making a fabulous push and our picks for 6 for 6. But I think this week is going to be a little bit dicier where we have things that are going to be possible upsets and things that are head scratchers, and we're going to figure out why they're head scratchers. But without further ado, let's get the show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. With the first selection, Game 6, ladies and gentlemen, is Bowling Green versus Ohio, Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the CBS Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio made a good statement against Ohio State in the first quarter, holding the Ohio State Buckeyes to 13 points for 2 quarters of play. Very impressive by this Bobcats team's defense of keeping the high-power Ohio State offense at bay. Later in the game, it started to show with pure talent and experience. But I like Ohio. I think they're going to assert their dominance and beat Bowling Green pretty badly, pretty convincingly. But keep in mind, this Ohio team also beat West Virginia. If you look at Bowling Green, they struggled against Louisville, which says it all. They also lost to Cincinnati on top of that, too. So I like this Ohio team to take care of this Bowling Green team in this matchup. So Bowling Green, Ohio, Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the CBS Sports Network. And I have Ohio winning this matchup. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the 5th slot, we have Louisville versus Pittsburgh, or a.k.a. Pitt, Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN2. You can catch these two teams going it out. Louisville, like I said earlier, took care of Bowling Green, which was 40-17, took care of JMU, 28-14, and then EKU is 51-17. However, Pitt had a struggle upset loss, not an upset loss, but a heartbreaking loss to West Virginia at West Virginia, losing in overtime 31-24. So they're coming back hungry better than ever to try to make a statement and put them right back on the ACC trajectory of doing well in this conference. It's not going to be an easy task going up against Louisville, but they have a lot to prove in this matchup in the ACC showdown to kick off some of their in-conferences competition this year, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Pitt falling short to West Virginia is definitely going to be a key motivator for this ball club, but also they're back at home with the fan support on top of that. So definitely liking Pitt in this matchup. So give me Pitt over Louisville in this matchup. You can catch this game Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN2. And ladies and gentlemen, now we're getting to the thick of it. We got USC in the 4th slot, which is number 21 in the nation, versus number 23 in the nation, Illinois, in this Big Ten, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Fox, ladies and gentlemen. A butt whooping against Indiana, 63-10. Illinois just flat out did not play in that game whatsoever. However, USC took care of Michigan State, 45-31. But it looks like if you're looking at the defense perspective now, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, USC is giving up points here and there, but also dropping points, probably somewhere averaging around like in the 30s or 40s for points per game. But if you look at Illinois, their defense can step up or just flat out just struggle against Indiana. So we really don't know what we're going to get from this Illinois team. Yes, they're back at home. Definitely going to be a key factor. But I think USC is going to make a statement with this one to try to be 5-0 in the Big Ten and just lurk around in the Big Ten and try to make a statement and try to get to the Big Ten Conference Championship game. I think that's their motive, trying to get there, get into the playoffs, as USC's goal is year in and year out. So it's definitely going to be a tall task. But I like USC to beat Illinois on. You can catch it Saturday, noon Eastern Time on Fox or 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the 3rd slot, ladies and gentlemen, we have LSU Tigers, number 4 in the nation, versus Ole Miss, number 13 in the nation. You can catch it Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time 12:30 Pacific time on ABC. LSU making a statement, taking care of Clemson week 1. Now, Clemson doesn't look too hot losing to Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech has a good ball club right now, ladies and gentlemen. We can't doubt them that. But also, LSU taking care of Florida. Yes, they were at home taking care of business. Outside of that, not too many notable opponents. Ole Miss taking care of Tulane, Arkansas, 41-35. Kentucky, 30-23. I just don't know how I feel about this Ole Miss squad, but having that, I would say, Florida and Clemson victory for LSU, I mean, it's not looking great with this match, which gives me a lot of head scratches on to evaluate how good LSU actually is. But I'm going to go with the upset, even though the percentage chance of Ole Miss is winning is 73%. I just like this upset in this one. I think LSU is going to go down. You can catch LSU number 4 in the nation versus Ole Miss number 13 in the nation. Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC, and I have Ole Miss winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a juggernaut in the SEC. We have number 17 Alabama versus number 5. Glory, glory to old Georgia. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. Georgia escaped the jaws of defeat from Tennessee in a ESPN Classic where Tennessee misses a kick in regulation, and then Georgia takes care of business in overtime. But Tennessee makes a 41-yard field goal in that game, and Georgia marches down the field and scores a touchdown of their own and put the game away. Now with Alabama making that solid, convincing victory over Wisconsin, doing 38-14, this Alabama team is trying to get their confidence, get their wings back. And what better way to do it is taking down number 5 Georgia. But I think Georgia is not invincible. They can be beaten. What we saw in Tennessee, their Tennessee offense was high flying. I know Alabama's defense can turn up, but it's that Alabama offense that we need to figure out. Can it get the job done? Or is it going to stall against an actual defensive team like Georgia? I think Georgia's going to put them at bay, put them in their place, and Georgia walks out with the victory in this one. It's not going to be convincing, but it's definitely going to be a thriller. And keep in mind, it is in Georgia, a very tough place to play for Alabama to get this job done. I just like the chance of victory, which is for Georgia is a 54% chance compared to Alabama's 45% chance of victory. So you can catch Alabama number 17 in the nation versus number 5 Georgia in the nation Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. Without further ado, let's get a quick recap before we reveal the game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. First up, we have Bowling Green versus Ohio, Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the CBS Sports Network, and I have Ohio winning it. Next up, we got Louisville versus Pitt, Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN2, and I have Pitt winning this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we have in our 4th slot, which is USC number 21 in the nation versus Illinois 23 in the nation, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Fox, and I have USC winning this matchup. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have number 4 LSU versus number 13 Ole Miss, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC, and I have Ole Miss winning this matchup. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the 2 slot, we have number 17 Alabama versus number 5. Glory, glory to old Georgia. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. And I have glory, glory to old Georgia to get the job done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the game of the week, the game that we're highly been anticipating is number 6 Oregon versus number 3 Penn State, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. A huge Big Ten clash of the heavyweights. Rematch of the Big Ten conference title game of last year, or Oregon beats Penn State. Now Penn State has that film, has that motivation, has that drive. However, ladies and gentlemen, that offense still can be a little bit sluggish. But Penn State defense creates those turnovers for that offense to get them short fields. But Oregon's not a team to mess around. They're going to be flying around, being hungry, and trying to make another statement in the Big Ten, showing that, hey, the Big Ten's easy. We're about to become conference champs again and make a large ruckus in the Big Ten with the true teams in the Big Ten saying, how are we letting Oregon go undefeated again? Now, Penn State has a job to do. Can they get it done? I mean, they're 51% chance of favorite, but I think Oregon will find a way to stun them in Happy Valley. I believe this game's a whiteout, but don't hold me to that. But it's 7:30 kickoff, prime time in the Big Ten. You're telling me Penn State can find a way to beat Oregon in this environment? I think they have it. However, Oregon's going to stun them at home because the whiteout hasn't always worked in the past. But I think Oregon finds a way to get it done. It's going to be tooth and nail, come down to the last drive of the game, and Oregon's going to fly one through the goalposts to probably win by 3, if not by a touchdown. So give me Oregon Ducks to win this matchup in the Big Ten. You can catch number 6 Oregon versus number 3 Penn State Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on NBC. And I have the Oregon Ducks winning this matchup. Without further ado, let's get you a quick recap, and we'll get you on out of here so you can enjoy your week of the college football season of Week 5. First up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Bowling Green versus Ohio. We have Ohio winning it, but you can catch this game noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the CBS Sports Network. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Louisville versus Pitt, Saturday, noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN2. And I have Pitt winning this matchup. After that, ladies and gentlemen, we have USC, number 21 in the nation, versus Illinois, who is number 23 in the nation. Noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Fox. And I have USC winning this matchup. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have number 4 LSU versus number 13 Ole Miss. You can catch this game Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, you have Alabama, number 17 in the nation, versus glory to old Georgia. It was number 5 in the nation, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ABC. And I have glory to old Georgia winning this matchup in this one, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, again, the game of the week, number 6, Oregon versus number 3, Penn State, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on NBC. And I have the Oregon Ducks winning this matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic part of 6 for 6, ladies and gentlemen. We got 4 correct picks last week and 2 incorrect ones. So definitely looking on the up and up. And overall, ladies and gentlemen, our season 4 record is 22, 18, and 1. Thank you so much for tuning in this week's episode of 6 for 6. And we'll catch you here next week. So long for now. Bye-bye.